Hey y'all, I'm Leah Craft and welcome to the Craftpocalypse. Welcome to week 4 of my year-long journey to becoming a better crafter. If this is your first time here and you want to know more about my project, I'll link my intro video in the description down below. I want to preface this video because it has been a heck of a week in the Craftpocalypse family bunker. My husband tested positive for coronavirus, then I tested positive for the flu, then I lost all sense of smell and taste, so I had to retest, and now I'm also positive for the coronavirus. So we've been riding quite the struggle bus this week, so if my energy is off or non-existent, or my voice sounds like garbage, you know what's going on. This week, we are headed back into the Brothers Grimm back catalog, and we will be doing The Seven Ravens. This story was a new story to me that I chose based on some beautiful illustrations by the Victorian-era illustrator Arthur Rackham. It's a bit of a mismatch of different story elements that you're probably already familiar with. You've got the number 7, which comes up a lot in fairy tales. You have a young girl seeking out celestial bodies a la East of the Sun, West of the Moon. You get a glass mountain, which weirdly also shows up a lot in folklore. And probably the main point of this story, curses and animal transformations. So this story has everything, and I can't wait to share it with you. So let's get crafting, and I'll see you back here to discuss the final project.
A man had 7 sons, but however much he wished for a daughter, he did not yet have one. Finally, his wife gave him hope for another child, and when it came into the world, it was indeed a girl. Great was their joy, but the child was sickly and small, and because of her weakness, she was to be given an emergency baptism. The father sent one of the boys to run quickly to the well and to get some water for the baptism. The other 6 ran along with him. Because each one of them wanted to be the first to dip out of the water, the bucket fell into the well. There they stood, not knowing what to do, and not one of them dared go home. When they did not return, the father grew impatient and said, "They have forgotten what they went after, because they were playing, those godless boys." Fearing that the girl would die without being baptized, he cried out in anger, "I wish that those boys would all turn to ravens." He had hardly spoke these words when he heard a whirring sound above his head, and looking up, he saw 7 coal-black ravens flying up and away. The parents could not take back the curse, and however sad they were at the loss of their 7 sons, they were still somewhat comforted because of their dear little daughter, who soon gained strength and became more beautiful every day. For a long time, she did not know that she had brothers, for her parents took care not to mention them to her. However, one day, she accidentally overheard some people talking about her. They said that she was beautiful enough, but that in truth she was to blame for her 7 brothers' misfortune. This troubled her greatly, and she went to her father and mother and asked them if she indeed had had brothers, and what happened to them. Her parents could no longer keep the secret, but said that it had been heaven's fate, and that her birth had been only the innocent cause. However, this ate at the girl's conscience every day, and she came to believe that she would have to redeem her brothers. She had neither rest nor peace until she secretly set forth and went out into the wide world, hoping to find her brothers and to set them free, whatever it may cost. She took nothing with her but a little ring as a remembrance from her parents, a loaf of bread for hunger, and a little jug of water for thirst, and a little chair for when she got tired. She walked on and on, far, far to the end of the world. She came to the sun, but it was too hot and terrible, and ate little children. She hurried away and ran to the moon, but it was much too cold and also frightening and wicked. And when it saw the child, it said, "I smell human flesh." Then she, hurried away, and she came to the stars, and they were friendly and good to her, each one sitting on its own little chair. When the morning star arose, it gave her a chicken bone and said, "Without that chicken bone, you cannot open the glass mountain, and your brothers are inside the glass mountain." The girl took the bone, wrapped it up well in a cloth, and went on her way until she came to the glass mountain. The door was locked, and she started to take out the chicken bone, but when she opened up the cloth, it was empty. She had lost the gift of the good stars. What could she do now? She wanted to rescue her brothers, but she had no key to the glass mountain. The good little sister took a knife, cut off one of her own little fingers, put it in the door, and fortunately the door opened. After she had gone inside, a little dwarf came up to her and said, "My child, what are you looking for?" "I'm looking for my brothers, the 7 ravens," she replied. The dwarf said, "The Lord Ravens are not home, but if you want to wait here until they return, step inside." Then the dwarf carried in the ravens' dinner on 7 little plates and in 7 little cups. The sister ate a little bit from each plate and took a little sip from each cup, and into the last cup she dropped the ring that she had brought with her. Suddenly she heard a whirring and rushing sound in the air, and the dwarf said, "The Lord Ravens are flying home now." They came, wanted to eat and drink, and looked for their plates and cups. Then one after the other of them said, "Who's been eating in my plate? Who's been drinking from my cup? It was a human mouth." Then the 7th one came to the bottom of the cup. The ring rolled toward him. Looking at it, he saw that it was a ring from their father and mother and said, "God grant that our little sister might be here. Then we would be set free." The girl was listening from behind the door, and when she heard this, she came forth. Then the ravens were restored to their human forms again. They hugged and kissed one another and went home happily. The end.
So the moral of the story is, if you come to a locked glass mountain, any tiny bone is probably going to unlock it. So maybe try something other than your own severed finger first. Just a thought. So the project, it does the job, but I'm not super thrilled with it. I kept having to take naps between steps because the flu is the worst. And I think you can see the disjointedness of the workflow in the final product. I went a bit ham on that moss, and I don't think it's giving me the effect that I was really hoping for. I don't love how very flat the base feels. Overall, I like the textures, and I'm proud of the color palette choices that I made for the stonework. It's not my best work so far, but I'm showing progress in some areas, and you know, I can't be completely mad at it. So for the question of the day, if you were cursed to live in animal form, which animal would you want to live as? Personally, I'm going to pick Galapagos tortoise because they're endangered, So some scientists would have a vested interest in keeping me alive and happy and well attended. Plus, they are crazy long-lived, so I would probably have a better chance of living long enough to have my curse broken. So what would your choice be? Leave your answers in the comments down below. So if you enjoyed this video and would like to see my growth over the next year, subscribe to my channel and like this video and leave a comment. Maybe share it with your friends. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Craftpocalypse and on Instagram also at Craftpocalypse. Don't forget, I do post a graphic each month announcing the new stories that we'll be crafting every week during the month. So if you're interested in that, check it out. And if you want to craft along with me, please use the hashtag #Craftpocalypse and #Craftalong so I can see your amazing fairy tale inspired creations. Bye, y'all!